Hey guys, it's Kelsey and back with another scrapbooking process video, and this is a celebratory hop for Rebecca Moore. This is her really cute layout I'm going to be scrapbooking today, but she's so talented. I love watching her videos. She has a super different style from me, but also I always get inspired by what she does because I feel like it's really applicable, like things I can kind of push into my own style, if that makes sense. And she just passed 1,500 subscribers. So we are doing a hop today. Make sure you check out everyone in the description. Everyone's going to be scrap lifting a layout of Rebecca's. And I just loved that original that she did. And I loved all the torn pieces, all of the color. I love the mixed media, and my page goes a little bit off that because I'm really stubborn and want to use one of these really cool cut files that Christina sent me in my kit, so it does end up getting tweaked a little bit. But I really wanted to pull in color. I wanted these big torn areas at the top of the page. I really like how she did her layering with her tags, so I'm going to try and pull in as much as of that original as possible. So I have this rainbow ombre from the Cocoa Vanilla These Days collections. I was really worried I was going to hoard this paper till the end, so I'm glad I kind of had this hop and this inspiration to make me use it because it was like my favorite. It's the first paper I saw when I opened this collection. I've been excited to use it, so I decided to use that as my main background, and then a scrap of that navy from those first two pages I did with this collection as my main torn layer at the top. And instead of having one photo and a shaker pocket, I decided to layer up two photos. I would have loved to do a shaker pocket, but I really wanted to get these photos scrapped. I really thought that the sunset timing of the photos went really well with this ombre paper. It just feels like sunset, and since this was 4th of July when the sun went down right before the fireworks show, I just thought it was perfect. So you can see I already backed my cut file off screen because I didn't want to make you watch me do that, but I did back it in the same navy that's at the top, and that's going to be my title for this page. I really wanted to use this cut file on a photo of me and Marcus because Karina got me this kit as a wedding present, so I really wanted to make sure I used some of it for documenting just me and Marcus. I know I already documented an Avery page with it, but since it was a wedding gift, I had to make sure that there was a layout dedicated to me and Marcus using these products, and I really thought the time spent together cut file was perfect for that. So that's kind of why I was stubborn, and this layout goes a little bit off the original because I really wanted to use this cut file. And you can see I have my photos layered where they were in the original, and I really like that you have this vertical line of sight from the photos down to the title. But once I get into layering the photos and adding those tag layers I really like from Rebecca's original, there's not enough space. So I end up shifting the photos to the right where I have more space underneath to do some of the layering. So you'll kind of see that. I'm just trying to cut a couple tags from my scraps to use in the layering. I really like how she has a couple tags sticking out from underneath her photo. So I'm just trying to figure out what pieces I want for that. I'm really trying to stick with my scraps. I'm really trying not to cut into another 12 by 12. So other than this rainbow ombre and this navy, I have that kind of nautical print, the blue or the kind of aqua pink nautical print you see to the left there. I'm really trying to just stick to these papers and not cut into any more. So it gets a little tricky because I really want this to have the layers that Rebecca's does, so I'm just trying to figure out how to manage that. I definitely need a secondary strip of torn paper at the top to fill in that gap to mimic Rebecca's original, so I decided to use that nautical print for that. I really didn't have another choice, but it's within the color scheme, so it worked well. I did end up inking the edge on that in my navy. It's called Stone Blue Catherine Pooler ink, which was included in this kit, and it goes perfectly, and I've really loved using that too. But I'm just inking the edge just so you have that really nice dark edge on the torn paper going onto this ombre, and I really think it pops. I think it looks really nice. So anyways, shifted the photos to the right here. I really want to use another one of these really cool jumbo tags. So I'm thinking that might be a layer where I put my photos on, and then you can see I'm still trying to figure out how I want my tags underneath. I decided to cut another tag out of this nautical print But instead of doing a white hole reinforcer like I just did on the jumbo tag, I thought it would be cool to stamp the hole reinforcer in this navy. That way it was turned that blue color that's going to be throughout the page. So I just thought that was cool because I have all these white hole reinforcers because I always like to use white hole reinforcers, and it didn't even dawn on me like, oh, I could definitely just ink that into a color I'm using on the page to make it something new. So I did that on the jumbo tag. On the navy tag, I'm keeping that one white just for contrast. It's already a dark navy tag. But on this nautical tag I'm making, I decided again to ink the hole reinforcer in that stone blue color. And I think it looks so cool. I'm so glad it finally hit my brain to try that. I guess I really didn't have the opportunity before because my only other ink pads are blue and brown. But I guess I could have used a mist or something. I just never even crossed my mind to try to change the color of those. But I usually like white anyways, so I guess it's not usually a problem. But I'm just trying to use these itty bitty scraps and make them enough for these layery details. I'm really trying to be frugal here and use what I have, so I think that's just enough to kind of create the look I want. I love all these layered tags up here, making me really happy. And before I glue everything down, I wanted to try doing some mixed media. This was really scary because I love this rainbow background and I didn't want to mess it up, but I did want to try the packaging technique using this navy ink pad. So I just stamped some of the ink on some plastic wrap, added a little bit of water, and now I'm smushing it on the page. And I think it turns out really cool. I probably would not have done this if I wasn't trying to copy Rebecca, but I really like how it ends up looking. It does look blue, but it almost reads gray on the color, and I don't know. It was just an interesting kind of technique to try on a page like this, and I'm really glad I was brave enough to do it, even though it didn't turn out as nicely as Rebecca's did. But I did want to add a little more. Most of that's covered up by the layers that I already had, and I was like, don't be a wimp. If you're going to do mixed media, you need to do it so you can see it. So I'm adding some more right now. And then I decide, hey, we're doing mixed media. Rebecca did more than one color. I'm going to try to do more than one color. So then I go in on top of this with my Nouveau Glacier paste that came in the collection. And I think that adds a lot of fun texture. It's just unexpected for me. I don't do multicolored mixed media all that often. So I'm glad I was brave enough to try. But yeah, that's how the packaging technique ended up looking. I'm going to have these tags underneath and the twine coming down, so it'll kind of all flow together. And I think it's nice. That kind of connects the photo clusters down to my title down here. So that's what I'm thinking. And then Rebecca has a lot of fun torn layers around her photos, so I'm thinking I'll just use a couple of the scraps I already have to add some layering bits around the photos on this jumbo tag. So that's all I'm doing now. I'm trying to figure out what pieces I want where, what pieces I even have to use, because again, I'm trying to use the scraps of what I already have. The back side of this navy is a multicolor star print that is the same color as the rainbow ombre. So I thought it would be nice if I could incorporate a little bit of that pattern just to pull some color up there, because the color is pretty much in this rainbow ombre. There's not a lot going on the top of the page that brings in that color. So I'm thinking if I can squeeze in some of those stars, that would be nice. And then I definitely have all of my multicolor florals in the die cut pack I can add in for embellishment near the end. But I'm trying to make sure my layers, my paper layers themselves kind of bring in that color. So I'm just trying to figure out how I can get the pieces I want to show where I want them in the size I need them, because they're just little bits here. So it kind of gets a little fiddly until I figure out how I'm going to have everything. Because as much as I want there to be lots of torn layery bits, I don't want to cover too much of this jumbo tag where you kind of lose it, because I think that big tag is really cool. I really like the little tab end on it. So I want all of that to show, even though I'm adding all of these torn pieces. So you can see it just takes me a minute. And then that really cool yellow pom-pom trim you see to the left there, that's actually what I'm going to use to thread all of these tags, which I think adds a really fun, cool detail. I usually just use regular twine in my tags, but this yellow pom-pom I don't know if you guys saw my kit share for this, for how to kill a kit with style this month, but this twine, or not twine, this trim has like wire running through it, so you can really shape it. And it's been really fun to work with. I already used it on a page. I think you would have saw it on Sunday. I'm going to use the rest of it on this page. I thought it would be really, really cool, since I have 3 tags, to have it just running in all 3 of them. And it adds such a fun texture by the end. So I just had mentioned that. It turns out really cool. I really like how it ends up looking. And then I'm going back in and inking something. I'm trying to ink some things, but I'm not inking everything. I think I'm just inking things that are kind of light. I obviously really don't need to ink the navy bit since it's already navy, but just trying to keep everything where I had it laid out. I really like spatially how my layers were looking, so now I'm just trying to get them glued down where they were. And because they're all such small scraps that I'm trying to add, it's really fiddly, but I think we're almost there. Getting these tags glued down. There we go. But yeah, so I am trying to remember what I do next. I'm tearing more paper to add. I wanted a bit of this star paper on the bottom as well. So since I went ahead and secured those 2 tags down there, I have a little bit of this multicolored star paper at the top. So I'm just adding it to the opposite corner of my photo area just so that's balanced. And you can see I inked that torn edge as well. But now that that's down, I'm pretty happy with where things are. I'm going to go ahead and start gluing things down. This is where I decide to be brave and go in with additional mixed media. So I'm just using this little polka dot stencil to do a little bit of mixed media with this glacier paste. So it ends up looking, I think, pretty cool. It's definitely unexpected for me. But yeah, I'm trying to use these products as much as possible this month and kind of challenge myself to do things I don't do all the time. So now that that's down, I glued my title down. I'm really struggling with myself. I'm trying to get all of these layers down but not mess up this mixed media I just did, because this glacier paste takes a while to dry. So I'm trying to work to the side of my layout for as long as possible before I glue all this stuff down, because I don't want to mess up that mixed media I just did. But I realized that I really didn't have any more of this nautical paper in my layers, even though it's a strip. It's the middle strip on my layout. So I was like, oh, I can add scraps of that into layers. So I just added a bit of that. And then I was looking, I have some branding strips from these papers at the top of my desk. And there's an aqua one that's in the color scheme. So I decided to take a bit, like half of that branding strip, and tear an edge on it and add that as another torn layer. I'm just having fun adding torn pieces. So going to ink that as well, I'm pretty sure, and then just glue that at the top. I just wanted kind of one layer running behind the tab and behind the layer, just so it looked like there were more paper layers than there really were, even though they're all just little fiddly scraps. So that's kind of satisfying for me at the end, though, to see once I glue everything down and everything looks really layery, and I'm like, oh, that's a teeny tiny piece of paper, but it kind of looks like a larger layer than it is. But yeah, now that that's down, I'm pretty happy with that. I really want to glue it down onto my layout, but again, my texture paste is not dry yet, so I decided to go ahead and thread my tags to the side of the layout while it was hanging out. So just trying to measure, you saw me kind of fold it up. I want the 2 tags on the bottom to kind of have shorter tails, so the jumbo tag could have as much of that fun trim as possible. So, and it's really nice since this trim has wire in it. It kind of stays where you move it. So I'm just twisting it on the tag and it just stays there. It's really nice. This trim's really fun. I really liked using it this month. So there's that one, and here's my last one. And then I'm pretty sure at this point I end up just gluing the stuff down, even though my texture paste is not dry yet, because I'm done with my layering. I just need to embellish. So I'm trying to be brave, and really it's just impatience. I want to continue my page and not worry about the texture paste. So I end up just gluing it down and not waiting. But yeah, so I need to embellish now. I know I have the floral bits from this collection I can pull in, but I'm kind of thinking in my stash if there's anything else I want to do. This is 4th of July, and I haven't really mentioned anything about that. And other than the photos being a sunset and the background kind of being a sunset, nothing else is really telling you that it's 4th of July. So I thought it might be nice if I used some of these navy star sequins as my embellishment, just to bring in some more navy, but it kind of gives you a little bit of that 4th of July theme, even though nothing really reads patriotic about this page. I'm just going to sprinkle some of these navy stars around. And then I'm going to do a tiny bit of journaling that just says July 4th. I do have a companion page to this one where I will clearly state that it's July 4th, but for this page, I really wanted it just to be about me and Marcus spending time together and being cute. And my sister took this photo of us. We went over to her house so we could help with Bennett and Avery for the fireworks show. Avery slept through the fireworks show amazingly. She was really worried about that. Her house, we were really like right in front of her house, so she could have taken him in if he did wake up and they bothered him. But this was the first time Bennett really got to see like a big fireworks show, because last year we did like the little fireworks in the driveway with him. He did not like how loud they were, but he ended up really getting excited about the colors and everything. So it turned out okay, even though he was a little nervous about it at first. So I just doodled July 4th there. I kind of almost thought I was done, but I really felt like it needed more. And then I was like, duh, you have all these florals to use, just add some more embellishments. So you can see I'm just going in with a couple of the gray leafy florals, and then I'm just pulling in some of the yellow and the blue just to stick with the color scheme I kind of already have going. So I'm adding a little bit down there to the tag, some in the upper right hand corner by the tab, and then branching out from the jumbo tag to the left, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to glue down all of these florals, and then the close-ups will be coming up. So this is a really fun page. It's definitely different than like my normal style, but still very much me. And that's what I love about scrap lifting different creators, is you really kind of get to infuse your style with theirs, and it usually comes up with something really cool. So make sure you check out Rebecca. Congratulations, Rebecca, on reaching your benchmark. Make sure you check out everyone else playing along, scrap lifting her. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. So I'm just going to go through and keep taping and gluing down all these florals I just decided to add. And then close-ups will be up here in a minute. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.